Everyone, welcome back. Today I'm doing a video replying to one of your guys' requests on my comment section. This comes from Bridgie. She asks, could you do a video on winter clothes for work from home people? I work from home, so I can't rationalize wearing my nice cashmere or linen pants every day at home since the washing and ironing process is so tedious. That being said, I also don't want to dress in sweats every day. I have the occasional grocery store trip, maybe get breakfast somewhere else, maybe in-laws are stopping by to drop something off. I don't want to do the full styled outfit with jewelry, but I feel like without the little touches, all my casual clothes look so scrubby. Help. I am very passionate about this subject, Bridge, because I feel that ever since quarantine happened, all that jazz, a lot of people managed to start working from home, me included. I work from home 3 times a week, which is great. It's very convenient. It's very sort of adaptable to my routine and my day-to-day life. I get so much done, but it's also such a great excuse not to make an effort. I refuse to just drop the bar just because I am at home. I think that even though we are working from home, we are still working. So we are either presenting ourselves or representing a company, and that should be taken into consideration. And if you have watched my vlogs, maybe my week of outfit videos, a few fashion hack videos, I always like to find simple solutions that will make a big impact without too much effort, with the objective of always looking polished and chic. That is just something that I'm very passionate about, because I don't believe we should be slaves of fashion and slaves to beauty, but at the same time we also don't want to be slaves to laziness. So today I'm sharing with you my tips and tricks on how to look polished and chic while working from home. And I'm dividing this video in 3 parts. First part is about fashion, so what you're wearing. Second part is about appearance, and third part is about your surroundings and your environment. When it comes to any of these points, though, I think it's important to keep a golden rule in mind. This is what you have to consider. This space is what people will see in your camera when you're doing video meetings, Zoom meetings. This little rectangle says everything. So this is what you need to control. Everything else is secondary. So in terms of what you're going to wear, you have to take into account that maybe it's not ideal to wear a lot of print. Maybe it's not ideal to wear things that will swallow your face. Maybe it's not ideal to wear things that look a little bit drabby, a little bit like they should have been donated a few years ago. Make a tiny bit of effort, especially on your top part, and you'll do good. I have a few things, a few sort of requisites that I take into consideration when I am dressing for working from home. Number 1 is the overall appearance of the garment. Bridge talked about how she finds the process of ironing tedious. But I do think that having clothes that aren't wrinkly, having clothes that are clean, that aren't kind of, falling off your shoulder or sort of open buttons, that is very important. But I do understand that we don't want to just pull out an iron just to throw on a shirt to spend the day in front of the computer in our homes. So what I do is I'll either go for something that is not wrinkly. For instance, this is something I would totally wear to work from home. It is a knit sweater that has a bit of a nice color. It has the stripes, so it gives a bit of interest, but not too much print. It doesn't wrinkle, so really easy to keep up, and it keeps me warm. But sometimes I will go for tops that are in materials that do wrinkle, and in this case I cannot stress enough the importance of having a handheld steamer. It's such a lifesaver. I leave mine right by my closet, so whichever piece I decide I'm gonna wear that day, I just steam it for like 10 seconds and it looks so much better. I would advise you to do this because maybe sometimes, depending on the lighting of your room, depending on where your mirror is, it might look like it's not wrinkled, it might look like it's just fine, but when you turn on that camera, some tricky black magic happens and it never looks polished, it never looks crisp. So just giving it that little seam really helps. You could also go for wrinkle-free kind of sprays. I know there are a lot out there in the market that also helps. Sometimes I'll even do the classic hack of using my hair straighteners to just do a little bit of final touches. Maybe I'm straightening my hair, it's on already, so I'll just choose a top that needs that little finishing touch. Works wonders. You already paid for it. Just use it as much as you can. Just so that it looks like you put in the time and the effort to whatever you're wearing. I have been guilty of eating Cheetos between meetings and then I forget and I turn on my camera for a meeting and I have a bunch of sprinkles of orange on my chest. It happens to the best of us, but if we can avoid it, better. So do make sure to sort of check yourself out, see if you're not dirty, see if you haven't spilled anything, make sure that things are steamed, wrinkle-free, and you're good to go. Another trick that I think is great if you want to maybe add a bit of interest, maybe you're doing a meeting with someone important, maybe you need to have that confidence and not look like you're just in your pajamas, going for a different neckline really helps. I think that especially if you want to play around a little bit, working from home and wearing basic things can get kind of boring. So playing around with the shape around your neck, which is again what people will see, makes a big impact. And another thing that makes a big impact is color. Color is such a great tool to sort of liven you up. So whenever you feel like you're a little bit lazy, maybe your energy isn't up and you need a little boost, go for a piece in a brighter color. Maybe it is a very simple top, but just by the addition of that hue, it will make things a little bit more exciting. And since we're still in this little square, and Bridge says that she doesn't feel like styling an outfit fully with jewelry makes sense, I would partially disagree. I believe there is one piece that makes a lot of difference and doesn't look like you're trying too hard but still is visible are earrings. Short earrings that can be seen on camera, so not too tiny that they just, you know, don't even seem like they're there, but just something that will catch the light, something that will frame your face, but nothing dangly. I hate dangly earrings, especially if I'm doing meetings, because they start to sort of make noises around my AirPods and people don't listen to what I'm saying. They can't hear me because there's something banging around. So just something close to your ears that is visible enough. Mango does so many beautiful earrings like this. Also, vintage clip-ons are a great solution. Something that will draw attention to your face, but still look appropriate, still look pretty. And then once you have this figured out, we can move on to the bottom half of our looks. I understand the appeal of spending the day in your sweats. Nobody's gonna see it. You're at home. It might be uncomfortable to throw on a pair of jeans or a pair of trousers. I get it. But if you can avoid leggings, sweatpants, those kind of more elevated but still homeware like in cashmere, don't do it, because that is the perfect excuse to not get out of the house for the whole day. I know that whenever I throw on a comfy pair of pants that I wouldn't wear outside, I end up just staying locked in. I don't go out to see the sun, I don't take my little strolls, I don't do my errands, I just stay at home. And that is so unhealthy. So an alternative to that is something like this. This is a pair of trousers that from a distance look put together, look a little bit more tailored, but once you start looking at it, this is from Benetton, I love it. It has the elasticated waist, it has a more stretchy fabric, so still comfortable enough to wear around the house all day long. You can eat, you can bend, you can sit however you want and it won't be in your way. But if you need to maybe get a delivery, maybe you need to go out to go to the grocery, go to the bakery, maybe you want to get some ice cream after lunch, maybe you want to go to the post office, you're basically all the way there. You just need to throw on some shoes and you're good to go. So you're not compromising comfort or style. You can have both. And to me, that really doesn't change between summer or winter. During summer, I will still apply the same rules that I just said. And during winter, maybe if I am feeling a little chilly, I will just grab myself a little cashmere wrap. This one is from Lily Silk. I love it. And if I feel like I'm getting too chilly, I'll just throw it on like this. Work, work, work. And then if I have a meeting, as if nothing happened. I would just avoid throwing on a sweatshirt, throwing on something that you don't want to be seen on camera, because then you have to take it off and it's hard and you maybe will ruin your hair or your makeup. You don't want to do that. Just more work. Nobody wants more work. Moving on to beauty. Again, I see the total appeal of not putting an effort. You're not gonna see anyone, you're gonna stay home all day. You can leave your camera off. You shouldn't, but you can. That already puts me in the wrong mindset, so I always try to have a little bit of makeup and to have my hair done. I've done several videos about this, about the importance of finding a hairstyle and a makeup look that you can pull off really easily in a matter of minutes and still look presentable. It will depend on your facial features, it will depend on how you style your hair or your type of hair, but having that information is so key because at the drop of a hat, if someone invites you to a meeting, you can easily whip something up and look presentable. And it's also something that if you want to do every day as a first step, which is what I do, it doesn't take up so much time. One of my favorite little tricks, and I have shown you this in a video, is just if I'm having maybe a bad hair day, I'll put it up in a little low ponytail, throw on a pretty headband, throw on a lipstick, some pretty earrings, and 1,000 times better. It looks so much better, so much more awake, so much more presentable, and it's just 4 little steps that I can do in a matter of seconds. Then speaking of makeup, and I think this goes 2 ways. I think you have to be very careful not to underdo makeup so that you don't look like you just rolled out of bed, but you also don't want to overdo it because it looks artificial, it looks kind of weird. Everybody knows you're working from home, so if you're just throwing on the full glam, it seems like you have a lot of time in your hands to get that done, so maybe you don't even want to do that. What I like to do is, if I'm going makeup free, which doesn't happen often, but maybe I'm just not in the mood that day, and then someone puts a meeting in my calendar, this is my desk, this is where I work, all of my makeup is here. Now, I'm not saying that you should keep all of your makeup in your work desk, but do keep a little kit. Maybe your favorite concealer, maybe a lipstick, maybe a liquid blush and a little brush. Just those pinpoint products that make a lot of difference to your skin. I get very gray, I get a lot of underbag eyes, so throwing on a lipstick, a blush, and a concealer sort of gets a lot of the job done. Maybe for you that would be bronzer, maybe for you it would be mascara. Just leave something close to where you work that you can apply in a matter of seconds and just be done with it. And then the classic rules of course apply here, so brush your teeth, make sure your nose isn't running, make sure that you don't have anything weird in your eyes. I shouldn't have to say this, but the things I see in meetings. And last but not least is your environment, your surroundings. It's really kind of a waste of time if you look presentable but you are in a messy room or you are in a really poorly lit room. And this is just going the extra mile. I don't think people would judge you for it, but just having a nice background, maybe having on those portable lights that you can throw on your computer or your desk. I have a few. I'll show you right here what I'm talking about. It makes a difference because maybe you look in the mirror and you put on your blush, you did your hair, you put on that beautifully colored top, and then you turn your camera on and it's dark and you can't really see you properly and everything just turns into a blurry mess. Today we have so many tools that we can use to make our work from home situations better. Get yourself a nice little corner. It doesn't have to be huge. I mean, this little corner is the only place that is presentable enough that I can take meetings in. Just a little lamp. Here I would have maybe a little vase or a notebook, and I would keep my computer here. and it looks great. Looks like I live in a mansion when actually I live in a 35 square meter apartment. This is it, everyone. These are my tips. Hopefully these might help you. Again, everyone has a different situation. Maybe you work in a more formal company and you need to dress a little bit more formally. Maybe you need to sort of transmit that confidence, that more conservative appeal. So you will have to wear a blouse, maybe a shirt. It will depend. I also think it's important not to exaggerate. So I remember at the beginning of quarantine, I was so adamant about not giving up, not letting myself go, that I was just dressing as if I was going out, like with a blazer and with a scarf, and it was just too much, you know? So make sure you are aware of your company, your surroundings, the people you're gonna talk to that day. Maybe again, you have an important meeting with a client and you need to dress up a little bit more, okay. But if you're just going to interface with your colleagues and everyone is just a bit more cash, don't be that person. Just want to be slightly better dressed, but not like you're trying to make people feel bad about themselves, and not like you don't know the difference between working from home and going to a gala dinner. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any tips on how to achieve a more presentable, more polished work from home look without too much effort, we all love to know. And we will see each other again next time. Bye bye.